Welcome in to the USL Pro Weekend Preview. My name's Nicholas Murray, very pleased to be joined by USL President Tim Holt. And Tim, three very interesting games at opposite ends of the spectrum this weekend in USL Pro, starting with Friday night's game. Wilmington Hammerheads travel to face the Rochester Rhinos. Now, these are two teams that are currently outside the playoff positions. Wilmington 6 points back, Rochester 10 points back. At this point of the season, a defeat might end one of these teams' playoff hopes.
It's pretty extraordinary that we're having this conversation with two teams like Rochester and Wilmington. Rochester literally a penalty kick away from the final last year, Wilmington being in the final, and we're talking about games that are literally make or break for their entire season happening this weekend, still in the month of July. But that's the reality of the situation. I've believed the whole season that both of these two teams are better than their record indicates. One of them is going to have to prove it here this weekend, or they may find themselves on the outside looking in.
Now, Saturday night, we get back to the 2011 championship game, and we have a rematch of that game between the Harrisburg City Islanders as they visit Orlando City at the Florida Citrus Bowl. Now, these two teams played to a 2-2 draw in Harrisburg earlier this season. It was a very entertaining game, but recently, both teams have been on the slide a little bit. Orlando taking a couple of draws on the road this week, Harrisburg having lost 3 out of their last 4. I think there's a big chance here for the City Islanders to maybe rebound and get their mojo back a little bit as they look to get back into the top 4 places.
Well, you're definitely correct. Both teams are not in the best form of the season, and both teams have had a real high peak level. Sometimes that happens over the course of a long season. We expect those two teams to be there very near the end, and it seems like every time these two teams meet, it's a classic, starting with the championship in 2011, which is as good a game as we've had in USL Pro from an excitement standpoint. So I think the rivalry that's burgeoning between these two teams, just the quality that's there, is going to make for a great game. We expect another tight one, and it could go a long way to determining home field advantage in the playoffs.
Now, two teams that have been in excellent form of late, the Richmond Kickers and the Los Angeles Blues, meet on Sunday evening, and the Richmond Kickers have been doing it all season. They've got a USL Pro record 17-game undefeated streak going. The LA Blues, though, 4 straight wins, very tough at home at Titan Stadium. I think this could be a very exciting game. Could be a lot of goals in it as well.
Yeah, with the Kickers, undefeated speaks for itself, and they're chasing history here. 9 games down the stretch to make a run at that. They're still right in the mix for that number 1 seed, neck and neck with Orlando as this goes down through. They got a real tough stretch, not only with LA, but their West Coast trip, and then some tough games to close out the season. So we'll learn a lot about them. I think we know they're already a premier side in this league, but LA is sort of the sneaky team that's right in the mix of this thing too. That maybe isn't on the tip of everybody's tongues as a title contender. A win over Richmond sure would put them in that conversation, wouldn't it?
It definitely would, and you can see that game live on Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific on USL Nation. All of this weekend's games are available on USL Nation from USL Pro locations. We hope you join us to watch them live. We hope you follow us on Twitter to get live goal-by-goal updates. And we hope you check out the previews and game reports as we post them to Facebook and Google+. Until we hope you enjoy all the action. For Tim, my name's Nicholas. Thanks for joining us for the weekend preview.